Hi, I'm Aaron,
And I'm Jonathan.
and today we are removing.
We
I'm tired. We are removing. Hi, I'm Aaron,
And I'm Jonathan.
and today we are reviewing the movie Risen.
Yes.
The biblical, what they hoped was going to be an epic.
Yes, and it stars Joseph Fiennes, a very underrated and very talented Hollywood character actor.
Which I agree, yeah.
And it's based on the crucifixion. But this one takes a different angle. It follows a Roman tribune through the crucifixion from a secular standpoint, from a non-believer perspective, and what the resurrection means to him.
Yeah, he's setting out to prove that Jesus could not have possibly risen from the dead. And along the way, he starts to doubt.
Romans crucified people all the time. So when he rides by the crucifixion on his horse, he's almost like, get this over with, what's the big deal?
Right, that was standard back then. And that's part of the thing for us Christians now, or even people who aren't Christians, they see the cross and they think of Jesus. You know, most people know the story, if they have any religious background. And we always put it with, what Jesus did for us, but we don't stop and think that was really like a demeaning thing, and that thieves and murderers were given that, that was commonplace back then.
Yeah. But it's fascinating because he doesn't grasp it initially, and when the Sanhedrin's worried about him raising from the dead, he is skeptical. But when Jesus' body disappears, he launches it's like an episode of CSI in the Bible time. This investigation where he's interrogating people, he's looking for forensic evidence, he's digging up tombs. He's like, this body's gotta be somewhere,
right.
And it's not walking around.
And at first, he doesn't even really want to. He's kind of forced to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell he's a tortured soul. He's seen a lot of war and a lot of pain and suffering, and he's a very wise man because of what he's been through. But you can tell it's really taken a toll on him, and he's sent on this journey that he doesn't even want to go on. So it's not like he has this vendetta to say that Jesus is dead and there's no way he's possibly risen. It's kind of his superiors like, you gotta just put a stop to this and prove that it didn't happen, because obviously it didn't.
But as he starts to unfold the mystery of where did Jesus' body go, initially he didn't care. It was just an assignment. It becomes an obsession that becomes linked with his search for a day without death.
Right. So that's the basic plot of the movie. There's some things I actually really liked about the movie, and there was a lot, unfortunately, that I didn't like, but I'll touch on the things that I liked real quick. My favorite part of the movie was the way they portray the disciples. In every single Jesus Bible movie ever, when the disciples, they're all kind of like hanging around and asking questions, and kind of like...
Or they're portrayed as like super spiritual.
Yeah, and they
were fishermen.
Yeah, they had normal jobs, and they decided to follow Jesus because he said, "Follow me."
Mm-hmm.
And
the movie is really realistic in its portrayal of that.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it in a movie about Jesus or the disciples before. So it was a fresh take. It was a very more realistic take on how they really were, and so for me, I really liked that part of the movie. I like the crucifixion scene. It wasn't dragged out. I mean, this isn't a crucifixion movie, but they do throw it in there and show you kind of from not a Christian standpoint of view and not a disciple's standpoint of view, but from this Roman who sees this every day. So I found that fascinating to watch. That was pretty much all I liked about the movie. There was a couple action scenes, but I've seen them done better before. Obviously, they weren't trying to go too graphic with the fighting scenes because, most biblical movies, they're aiming at a certain audience.
Yeah. It's as far as what he was saying, like on the note of the realism involved. Joseph Fiennes gets 5 out of 5 stars for his acting performance. It is perfectly paced. His progression's perfect, and he does a lot of it without saying too much.
Yeah, a lot of it's just, you can see it in his face. You can see the turmoil he's going through and the questions he has without even saying a word. And he's a very underrated actor, a very very good actor who, when he's given a good script, he can really take it a far way.
It's there's a lot going on in this movie. It's a lot deeper. I mean, I saw it twice at the theater, and then I ended up purchasing the Blu-ray. I really enjoyed the movie because it was so fresh. You go to a Bible movie or a Jesus movie, and you expect to know what happens. This is one of those ones where the first time through it, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen next, because it's the complete other angle. The crucifixion takes place within the first 20 minutes of the movie,
Yeah.
and the rest of it is this Roman journey to find faith. And I always wonder, what must it have felt like to be left out? Like, all those Jews, they say they can get to heaven. They say they can have forgiveness, but I can't.
Right. That's a good point.
You know, like, what does it feel like to look outside looking in? We have differing views. I love this movie. I mean, like I said, I saw it twice in the theater, and I was so blown away by the fresh take on a familiar tale, and to see it perfectly done, well shot, well acted, good script, good pace, good directing. So many faith-based films are corny or cheesy or boring, and this one kind of upped the game tremendously.
You don't have to be a Christian to watch it and understand it. Right? You don't have to, have any religious background to understand it. You can go into this movie not knowing anything about Jesus or anything, and watch it and learn and have some questions brought up in your own life that you can ponder and ask, someone about. So I think on that note, it's good. Personally, I felt a little underwhelmed with it. I don't know. I wasn't too impressed.
Maybe it's about expectations.
Yeah, because he really pumped this movie up big time.
I do that.
And more. Plus the trailers, they made it seem way more exciting than the film was for me.
Trailers are pretty misleading.
Yeah, trailers can be very misleading. I mean, look at the trailers for The Giver.
Yeah.
They make that movie look like some teenage action movie with no story whatsoever. And you watch the movie separate.
It's great.
And it's a beautiful film, so...
But anyway, back on the...
I always talk about The Giver, because I love that movie.
He loves that movie. I like it too. Content-wise, Risen is initially very violent. If you're going to watch it in a family setting, I'd warn you. It earned its PG-13. The opening sequence is a knockdown, drag-out battle with people stabbed and chopped and shot with spears and arrows and crushed with rock. It's very chaotic, very violent. There's blood involved. The crucifixion scene is equally...
Yeah, if not more so.
Yeah, but it shows you just how visceral and how violent the Roman culture was when it came to that. That was a daily thing, death was. It was very shocking, very real, but again, if you've got young kids and you've got, younger siblings or children of your own, it's gonna...
Yeah, for sure. Because I didn't know about that going in, and we sat down and watched it as a family, and we got to the war scene, and then it immediately cuts to the crucifixion, and we ended up kicking the boys out of the room for a good 10-15 minutes. And
the other thing I'd mention too is, after those first 20 minutes, the violence is pretty much done.
Yeah.
The rest of it, if there's any action, it's just that, it's action. There's really no more killing or bloodshed. The rest of it is just this mystery that plays out this journey. So if you can, get through that first 20 minutes, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
There's no inappropriate sexual content. There's no language. It is really a great film that you could show to the family, other than those couple violent scenes.
Right. I agree.
Out of 10 stars.
Out of a film, okay. I'm trying to break this into two segments. Out of a filmmaking standpoint and how much I liked it. So, out of a filmmaking standpoint, for a Christian film, a faith-based film, it was surprisingly well done. I mean, it had good actors, good editing, good soundtrack, good directing. The costumes were great. The setting was great. The story was good. The script was decent. So, from a filmmaking standpoint, I would give it a 6 or a 7. From a standpoint of how much I liked it, I try to rank things on rewatchability, if that's a word. It is now.
It is now.
I coined the phrase rewatchability. I give it a 4 or 5.
Ouch.
out of just personal.
5 at least. I mean, you don't have to explain.
Look, if it's 5, that means I might watch it again, but I really don't think I ever will. So
Okay.
a 4 or 5.
All right, for me, I am much more gung-ho about this film because I tend to think a little deeper. But it's, sorry, filmmaking-wise, it's really, really good. Like, it's a tremendous surprise if you're used to what most faith-based films have been comfortable with in the past few years. You are in Rome at the time of Christ. There's never a moment in the film that breaks your focus from that. Like, oh, see, that's like a fake costume, or oh, that's set. No, it is immersive. It is just a straight up historical biblical film, and I like that they left it gritty and real like that. To me, the message was powerful. It's very thought provoking. You're going to have a lot of great conversations with people if you discuss this movie at all with anyone. There's so much for me personally, I was able to dig out of there, just about perspective and how do the lost view Jesus and belief. And there's a scene where Clavius is asking Peter all these questions, and Peter says, I don't know. We're followers. We follow to find the truth. And I thought that was profound because we don't know it all. We follow Jesus for reasons because we don't know all the answers. We are trusting Him. Trust is a massive part of salvation.
It's called faith.
Faith. So to me, it was powerful to see, we're all on that journey of trusting God and trying to find out more about Him.
Right.
Filmmaking, I'm giving it 8 out of 10. It is very well done. Likability, rewatchability, I'm going to give it 7 out of 10. It's one that I'll continue to watch over the years. That'll be a staple. It's certainly at this point my favorite faith-based film that I've seen. So I wholeheartedly recommend it. I think it's for Christian families. It's a must-see. If you're not a Christian, you might find it interesting. It's a good mystery, and it may answer some questions that you've had, because I think you'll relate with the main character.
Right. And as always, check out the content first and make your own decision. And if there's objectionable content in it or something that offends you, don't get mad at him, don't get mad at me, don't hunt us down. Please just don't shoot us, whatever you do, don't.
Yeah.
Because that's painful, man.
Yeah. I never cared much for injuries. They are very painful.
Yeah, it's kind of unpleasant.
Yeah. Comment below. Tell us what you think of the movie. We're curious to hear what you think. It like you've seen with us, there's different perspectives and takes you can have on this for sure. But until next time, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Aaron. Thanks for watching the review. Check out my channel once in a while. I'm trying to get reviews up. Some other fun stuff, maybe some piano playing, whatever. So thanks for watching. Comment below. Let us know what you think.
Yes.
And goodbye.
So instead of something funny, I thought I'd give a good serious quote given the film's content.
Give us a serious quote.
This is from John Foreman. Every saint's got a past, but every sinner's got a future.
It's true. That's actually really deep.
Yeah.
So we'll leave you with something serious this time, and next time we'll do something funny. Maybe. I don't know.
Promise.
Just making up stuff as we go, man.
That's all it is. This is serendipity.
And the myth of control.
That's right. Well, however.